So actually, I know in the GGC we have weekly rallies where we pretty much all get together. We all get in a big group chat, and then we all just basically, it's basically like a big Q&A, but it's not just for me. It's like other people are talking to everyone. We're just everyone kind of gets together. And in the last weekly rally, what we were talking about is that shit area before you're able to like step out of your business and you're basically grinding. So this is what I figured out is the fastest way out. I mean, I've talked and mentored and coached hundreds of people now in the lawn care industry. So when I say this, I'm not just saying this from my experience, I'm saying it collectively from all these people that I've been in direct integration into their business. This is based off not my results, everyone's results as a whole. And this is what I found is the crappiest time in lawn care is when you're not when you're first starting. When you're first starting, you see roses. As soon as you hire your first employee, to the time you get out of that route, your life will be hell. The point is you have to get to that point and speed run it. So this is my strat when it comes to this, and this is what I tell people to do now, and this is what I would do if I was starting as well, and having to start everything back over. Basically, we all know that when you're growing your business and you're a solo guy, you solo route, you don't have employees, you don't have anything to worry about, you always make money. As soon as you start hiring people, watch, all that money's going away. All that money you have is completely out of your pocket, it's gone. So how do we get out of this phase as fast as possible to the point where we're making money again? When you're solo, you know how much revenue you can get in a route. Say, for example, your routes can do, let's make it easy, 10 grand a month. A two-man route can do 10 grand a month. You probably should be doing more than that, but I'm just trying to make the number simple. So that means a solo route, you should be at 5 grand a month, right? Until you are at, once you hit that stage of like 5 grand a month, before you immediately go hire people, I believe the smartest thing to do is stack cash. So when you do hire someone, instead of you just hiring them I'm not talking about just having cash reserves. I'm just talking about when you hire someone, instead of you having to build it super slow, you can speed run the growth phase. You can hire a sales guy who can be short-term door knocking to get the route completely built out. You can spend this money on marketing. You can spend this money on acquiring, quote unquote, another company so you don't have to actually build this business from scratch because you already are making money. If you're profiting, you should probably save up and buy out the next company next to you. And if you want my honest opinion, that's exactly what I would do. If I was starting from scratch again, I would grind it out to a solo route, full solo route, which is not hard at all. Anyone who's in the lawn care industry, if you guys know that if you stay consistent for maybe, like, I'm not even saying if you know what you're doing. I did this and built a solo full route in the first 6 months when I didn't know anything about lawn care. So I genuinely believe if you really wanted to put your head down and grind, you could be done building half of a full route, which is two-man routes, within 3 4 months max off a start time. Like right when you start, I think you can be there in 4 months. I think for the rest of the year, you should stack up and just take in all the cash you can take. And then instead of you just hiring someone, you buy the company and have this massive onflow of work that you have to get done. And that's when you hire the guy, when you already have the money that you have to pay. Because that's a tricky spot in the very beginning where you have money, but as soon as you hire this guy full time, you're not going to have money. So how you get around that and how you don't have to sit there and grind, because if you say, for example, you hire that guy, you have a little bit of money. So the only way you're going to get customers, you can't really use your money. You kind of have to work full time and go advertise full time. It's really hard. It's going to be demoralizing the entire time. And the longer you wait and the longer you're in that period, the worse it gets. So the fastest way out is to literally, once you have that solo route, sit there, stack cash till you can buy the next route or the rest of the route. Say, for example, you're doing 5 grand a month. You should technically be able to buy a lawn care company for the rest of the route for 20 grand. So say that's exactly what I would do. Save up 20 grand and buy the rest of the route. So even when I do hire this guy, I'm still cash flowing, and I'm actually cash flowing more. I'm making more money after hiring the guy, because that's the tricky spot. You have to hire a guy, but you also need the full-time two-man work for this to even make sense and for you to make more money. So the way around that is to just like speed run and skip and just buy out another company. And that's the most efficient way that you can do. I'm being so serious. We tested so many different things. That's the most efficient thing you can do. Build up your solo route, buy out the rest of the route for this 2-man route, and then go on to that second route. And if you're really being smart, you in that 2-man route, you'll sit there and buy out that next 2-man route. Just buy out the first 2 routes to the point where you're out of the business. Once you're out of the business and you're actually cash flowing and you have enough money to really go hard in marketing, then I would go hard in marketing because it's cheaper than buying out companies. But in the beginning, you don't have a lot of time, so it's really going to take a lot of time to build this out from scratch unless you buy stuff. So you can wait years or you can get it done within the first 2 years. It's your choice. Me personally, if you want to get it done, if your goal is that I want to get to this destination, I don't really care what happens. If I can take the fastest route possible, this is what I'll do. If you want to grind for some reason, you want to work harder than smarter, don't buy out a company and just sit there and grind it out. I'm not going to lie, that's what I did because I didn't know about this. But now that you guys do know about this, that would be my advice. And that's what I would do if I had to go back.